Nourish with Soul Inspirational Wellness Studio and Zavora One Wisdom and Soul Cravings. I see this similar to filling voids, and I'm going to put the two together here. So when the body is craving a particular mineral, nutrient, the body will let us know, and we'll go to the refrigerator or the pantry and we'll look for something. We may not even know what we're looking for, and there's food in the fridge or the pantry, but the body just is telling us, nope, not that, nope, not that, until we find whatever that thing is. And maybe it's your body's been craving, vegetables or fruits, but it doesn't mean that we've satisfied what the body was craving initially, but we kind of patch it over, so to speak. So I want to talk about that, but in relation now on a soul level, on an energetic level. So the soul also craves. When we aren't getting enough nutrients, maybe it's from love or nurturance, feeling supported, whatever it may be, it's like the soul just automatically starts seeking for that which it perceives it is lacking. And this is what I mean by filling voids. So that lack or that void, and the soul can feel it, and again, it begins seeking. So there's a whole host of ways in which we could seek. We may be going to YouTube, looking up different videos or self-help books. Your soul is craving something, so you begin to seek. Now, sometimes what we are craving, we seek in a different way. And what I mean by this is we may actually find people around us that we can be within their presence to feel their love because we are feeling a void of that. Most of the time, I think we're not even conscious that we are craving something or what it is that we're craving. So I'm hoping that this video will bring self-awareness. So if you find yourself seeking out certain kinds of people, to ask yourself, why this particular type of person? Is it that I'm feeling a lack, a void of love, of confidence, of strength, support, fill in the blank? Because when we recognize that, we can then go internally, and this is the other part that I'm hoping to really get through, that when we seek, if we try to extract energy from other people, it may fill us on a temporary basis. But almost always it's going to be just that temporary, which means we're still going to find ourselves at the point where we are craving love, we are craving attention, we are craving support, whatever it may be. So when we recognize these things, then we can go internally and ask ourselves, how can I fill this myself? So for those that believe in a higher power, God, the universe, the divine, that to me is an internal source. So it's not that we're going out and up to God. God is within us, right? So that to me is still internal. But when we are seeking other people's energy to fill our own, that's where we want to be careful. Because even if we read self-help books, go to YouTube, we're getting the information still for an internal cause, right? So we're learning this information so that we can put it to practical use of how to be more confident, how to tap into our strength, how to be more loving, more nurturing to ourselves. But if we are extracting energy from a nurturing person because that's what I need right now, then again, it's an extraction of energy. And this also kind of reminds me of energy vampires. So we'll say, oh, whenever I'm around a certain person, they just zap my energy. When we become aware of the fact that oftentimes we do that, and then others do that, when we become consciously aware, there's room for compassion, recognizing that the person who is kind of trying to suck or extract that energy from us, that there is something that they are lacking. Now, it doesn't mean that we just, open up unless you want to for that person to extract the energy, but it still leaves room for compassion, that they are seeking something that they feel is lacking within them. Likewise, it offers compassion for ourselves when we recognize that we are doing that to others. And in those moments, we can ask ourselves, okay, I think I'm reaching out to this person because they're a very nurturing person and I could really use nurturing right now. I am feeling a lack of this, whatever this may be. How can I go about offering myself that? And it may sound counterintuitive of, well, if I have a lack, then how can I give that to myself? Because we still have the ability, to nurture ourselves. In almost every instance, it's just a matter of being consciously aware of it so we can come back to self and begin to nurture ourselves. And what that means for each of you individually, obviously, is going to vary. I feel this as well to some extent with addiction. So whether it is drinking, eating, gambling, sex, whatever it may be. So if somebody had a lack of love growing up, maybe it's from a particular parent, it's like we keep going after that approval, that love from that parent, not always, but in some cases. And if the parent is incapable of being able, for whatever their personal reasons are, of being able to share that love and attention, then we may very well seek it from others around us. Or we may drink, do drugs, whatever it may be, to help numb those places of hurt because we feel as though there is a lack. So we may replace that lack, try and fill it with something else. But if the soul is craving peace, we're not going to get it from an external source. It's an inside job. So it may be time for meditation, taking a long bath, putting on soothing music, whatever it is for you. If the soul is craving love, we can surround ourselves with loving people, but eventually we're going to find ourselves back in the place of feeling a bit empty. So when we can begin to show love to ourselves, to be kind to ourselves, to forgive ourselves, we can start building, I kind of see it as reservoirs, but we can start filling up the soul with something that is more permanent. Now, it doesn't mean that it doesn't eventually shift and we feel a void again, but anytime that we do, we can come back in. But we're going to be, you may find that you are sustained for a longer period of time when you do it for yourself. Again, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for support. You're grieving, you're going through a hard time in life, maybe it's a divorce, some kind of a breakup. That's what we're here for, is to help each other. So find that, take a moment, check in with yourself. What am I craving in this moment? If somebody triggers you, that's a good opportunity of what are they triggering within me? Is this because I don't feel worthy? I don't feel deserving? I'm not good enough? Maybe it's abandonment issues. And so once you can recognize what this is, well, then you can come back in, and it's the only person who can really put any type of value on you is you. Because everybody else, people are going to come and go within our lives. So even with abandonment issues, you may find that it hurts less because you feel strong within yourself. So for example, if I've been triggered for abandonment issues, then I will just sit with myself and remind myself, you know what? They left, but I'm still here. I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm loving, whatever it is for you. And as long as I don't abandon myself, I can never truly be abandoned. Because I know that God, the universe, the divine will never abandon me. And I'm not going to abandon myself. So we're not taking things so personal. They don't affect us as much, because when we recognize if it's a matter of not being good enough, which just drives me crazy even with the word enough. You are good, period. Somebody along the line, maybe it was a parent, maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was an older sibling, fill in the blank, somebody along the line most likely put something in your mind that you weren't deserving, you weren't good enough. They said those things to you, or their actions came across, their energy came across to you in that way because it's through their filter, through their life experiences. They don't get to say what your worth is. They don't get to say what you deserve, right? Or that you don't deserve, because everybody deserves goodness in their life. So when somebody is telling somebody else, you don't deserve this, or you aren't worthy of X, that's their own filter. So that is their lack, their void. I've had many clients and have met people along my journey that have said on paper, everything looks great, but I still feel like I'm missing something. That to me is a sign that your soul is nudging you towards something better for you, to get you over to fill the voids in a healthy way. And really, it's extracting from those parts that have been suppressed to bring them back up, because you have the ability to nurture. We can pull that back up and nurture ourselves. If you can be kind to other people, you can be kind to yourself. If you can forgive other people for their trespasses, then surely you can forgive yourself for yours. It's okay. It's okay to forgive yourself. It's okay to love yourself. It doesn't mean that one is conceited or full of themselves. It's healthy to trust yourself. It's healthy to feel confident in who you are, to love yourself, to appreciate yourself, to honor yourself. There will be some people that aren't ready to hear this video, or maybe it's better worded through a different person, and then there are others that will watch this, that this is exactly the thing that they needed to hear. Trust your energy. Let it guide you to that voice, to that book, to that YouTube video. Trust your internal guidance. You will be shown the way to help, again, bring you back to a more balanced, a healthier state of being. Again, it's conscious awareness, paying attention to what the body or the soul is telling you, and then taking those steps. And sometimes it's a process. Right here being on video, when a friend first suggested that I go to the local TV station, I just wanted to turn inside out because I don't like being seen. But I knew that was coming from an unhealthy place within me. So I challenged myself with baby steps to get out there, to do the TV show, to put these videos up on YouTube. Because people judge, people can be harsh. But I have had to remind myself that I'm not up here to listen to myself talk. I do the videos because, as I have learned on my journey, I like to share this information with others. Take what feels right for you, discard what doesn't. If there's a little nugget that you got out of this video that leads you to a different video, then that's beautiful, or to a book, or whatever it may be, that's wonderful. It's all of us helping each other, trusting your journey, trusting your soul and your internal guidance. So, all right, with a full soul, we're almost full. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Until next time, be well and namaste.